Ugh. Ugh.
Hey,
It's rolling. The money's rolling. Hey, yo!
ladies and gentlemen, back at it again.
With a bag, and a back,
I mean,
with a back.
let's just say it like this. OpinionOutlaws, Season 5, Episode 10. I feel pretty good about myself. I don't know about you.
I mean, sun is shining. It's beautiful weather outside, so can't really complain. You probably can see it from the video quality as well. So, yeah. I like what I see. I like what I see. I like what I see.
Before we start our episode, you know what to do. You know what to do. I mean, it doesn't even need to be said. Every sensible human being knows what needs to be done.
The regular, you gotta point down there,
but over there.
Some shit around there.
Over there. And then we have outside of YouTube
Of
places
course.
that we are. So go check them out as well. First question is, how do you feel about this season?
I mean, surprisingly, it was kind of weird in a sense that it was a full season without third character. Because with previous season, even though we did like the end of it as duo, we mostly had or at least in the beginning, we had a third host.
Yes.
So in that sense, it's kind of weird, but good. The way, especially in the end run, that we put the fire, it was nice. It was really nice. And of course, thing that would have been preferable, like the scenery. We could have upgraded the scenery and all that, but
sure.
That's optional.
Sure.
That's things that we can always adjust with. But overall, the season was nice. It was nice. Topics might have been a little, left and right. Funny thing, I've noticed something that a lot of the topics were connected. But also at the same time, they could have been one just big episode in that sense. But the thing that I like during this season that we also brought out guests that could give up little season into the episode. Not meaning that we didn't do it already in previous season, but it was a little bit, because ironically we were from duos to trios, not like before we were cuatros. So shit like that. So it was nice. But how about you?
For me, it was good. It was good. Like I said, I have that vision. I still have that vision to make it to the 100th episodes. But we are now over half of that vision. And the guys that we invited for were the guys who could actually speak upon the topics that we had. And of course, we have said this before, and we will continue to say it again. We have human beings. It doesn't need to be just guys. It can be girls as well. You have interesting opinions. You have interesting thoughts. You can argue them, and you are comfortable in front of camera. You're more than welcome. You don't need to agree with us. You don't need to agree with me or with him. But you need for sure that when you go up on a podcast, not to just blabber. We can make an example of many other podcasts where I'm gonna give you actually an example. It hurt my soul.
Hold on.
No, it hurt my soul.
He was pissed.
I was pissed because I saw this. I said to myself, what in the actual God's green earth are you talking?
Beep.
Basically, they brought a guest, like you and me, and we bring a guest. Now we know that guest suffered a loss, that their sister, they lost their life young. And we start to talk about their career, the whole main topic was that his career. In the middle of a conversation, this co-host asks, hey, what about your passing of your sister?
What about it?
And then I'm like,
What about it?
why you segue that whole conversation to a topic that is very hurtful and very personal to a human being? Was it true that he passed away this way?
Hey, that guy said, that co-host said we gotta know. We gotta know.
Man, it was painful to watch.
That's the moment when somebody does not have like situational awareness and lack of compassion in that sense. Of course, could be that the person is curious, because I've seen those type of people who are kind of not really socially aware of what they're asking or saying. But what I'm guessing, about the podcast you're talking about, the guy just was purely ignorant. They're just.
It was a woman.
Oh no.
But yeah, not only was purely ignorant, but the way that she rephrased it was that it was more like if I asked you what opinion about this, it wasn't in the sense of let's talk something about very deep and personal, but it was more in a sense of let's talk
Interview
interview type of way. And of course, now we have done this podcast for 3 years now on my end. And in 3 years, if I have had a guest, I would never in my life. I know that they have something, they have lost something, or they are battling a depression, or they have something in their personal life that is very interesting for the world to hear and see. But I would never ask them that, hey, how about the thing that hurts and is deepest scars for you?
Did that all of a sudden what's going on? And we need the hottest news.
We need the tea. Like, no, you don't need the tea. You need coffee. Tea. Get out of here.
We need the tea. Like, what's going on? Like, she happy? Like it? That, like I said, that's in like the host end. That's kind of like you're not really. I would say like they behave like journalists at that point. That's not really just having a podcast or a conversation. That's just purely being journalist.
Yes, and that's why I am proud of what that we have accomplished, because even though our numbers are not that good, like it hasn't been this way, but it has been like this, like it goes a little bit up, but very slow. I'm still proud that we are doing a thing with great morals, with great values. I'm proud of that, and
put in the work.
And I'm proud of also that we have discussed topics that are not easy to discuss. Belonging, for example, in a family, that's a very hard topic, because family usually not in a Vin Diesel Fast and Furious kind of way, but
for family.
But when somebody says family, immediately goes to being together, belonging, but that's not the case for most of the human beings. So I'm proud of that. Of course, we had, because my wish was that we could do it all in Christmas time, before Christmas time, that we could do all that and release all these episodes. But life happens, right? Things happen.
Ironically, right now, the only thing that is not released is this episode.
Yes.
Everything else is already on the channel. So I'm like...
Yes, but I'm proud. I'm proud that we did.
She happy, but we finished the shit. Let's say it like that.
Of course,
we finished the shit.
Of course, and like we talked about in many other episodes, when we cannot make an episode because if he's working or I'm working or we have some stuff outside of this, of course we are not just living here.
If this was a full time, then of course I would say like excuse us, lacking at that point it would be on us. But if 8 hours a day basically you're doing something else on top of that, and then you gotta do the work, which takes also a couple of hours at least, and then you gotta edit on that, bro. Hold up, and especially at least in my situation, I also had my practice that I had to go to, which also took a couple of hours in itself. So basically, there wasn't much of like extra free time that I had left on until I had to do the whole cycle again. So that's
in December he was working around the clock. Do you want to explain it, or you want to keep that a secret?
I probably mentioned already, or I'm not sure.
Maybe if
I mentioned it like before we started shooting, but during Christmas time. For at least like 3 weeks, I was doing like 15 hours a day before, like in the sense that I was in a night shift, got out around 6, then either, depending on what time my morning schedule started, I would be either awake at 8 or 7:50, work till like around 4, then guess what am I gonna do. Either shoot a podcast with him or rest and wake up again before midnight and do the cycle again. So basically, I was running around the clock like most of the time, and sometimes I might have like the night shift, and then I have an evening shift. So basically, my time schedule is kind of in a way that I get out of night shift around 6 o'clock, then go to like evening shift, or how would I say, like
afternoon shift.
late evening shift that starts around 12. Let's say 12 o'clock. So yeah, so I was just basically running a cycle of how much can I rest and how much can I do stuff during the day, and that was it pretty much for 3 weeks. And you got to do what you got to do, and that was game. And on top of that, we were putting the work, so
Yes, sir.
can't really complain in that sense.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that was the scenery, and of course not putting the excuse on it, because it was my choice of doing that. Of course, my choice. I mean, I would rather be not doing anything,
Of course,
but society be like, you need to make money, so you had to do something. So that's that. But other than that, I think we tried to at least manage this as well as we could. Of course, in situation if we had like a bigger audience, the expectation would have been like, we gotta be able to put the work either twice a week or at least once a week, which is,
it's a very different story.
It's a different story, and at that point, I would hope that this would have been a full-time job. Then we don't have really excuse at that point.
For sure, like I'm being realistic here that if we have that minimum of 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of view time, or is it 4,000? No, it's 4,000 hours of view time. Then we are start getting paid because it will monetize off the YouTube. Like the threshold goes from there. Yeah, then it's a little bit different because now we have to make. If we put in the work, we are getting paid for it. And now around 1,000 people are saying to us that, I want to see what you do. I want to see what you bring. So to us, then it's a little bit different. But let's say from that, we jump to 100K subscription, and we are making like 1 million to 500,000 view times in the video, per video. And we are making 30,000, 40,000 a month? Yeah, there is not a lot of questions then. Are you working or not?
Who's putting the work at that point?
Yeah, we have to shoot content then, and we have to make content, not just in obligation of the viewership, but of course obligation to ourselves as well. We built this, now we have to keep it going.
Keep it pushing.
We keep it pushing, and of course YouTube money is not a joke. Let's just say it like this.
Hold on, how you know that?
Let's just say you don't need to do a lot of research to see what kind of channels are making big bucks.
Hey, game is game. Game is game.
But yeah, like he said, he had a time frame where we couldn't shoot almost anything.
At least constantly.
It was, but it was still cool because there are episodes where he came, he had that big energy drink with him. He came and he was doing all that. Like you couldn't tell that he's deprived from sleep or needs a rest or anything.
That's my default face nowadays. I look like deprived of sleep constantly, even though I sleep now. Like, what can you do? Yeah. That's the adult life I see. Man, all this for money? Imagine that.
Think about that.
That's how fucked up our society is nowadays, man. We're pushing for money like that, and that money ain't even been gained the same way as it used to. Like, imagine the hours we are putting right now, it don't matter as much as it used to matter back in the days.
Well, I watched a few days ago, I watched Lord of the Rings.
Hold on a minute.
This is a story how I came about. Segue to money, let's just say. I watched the Lord of the Rings, and now it's not movie for me.
Never been a movie for me either.
I don't like it's done well. The movie actually is done well. I'm not saying that. And let's just say CGI on that thing,
The Shaman.
I mean, like, listen, movies back in the days, even though they didn't have that technology that today they have, they were still buzzing. Like, they were still cooking. They were doing stuff that today's technology is not doing. I don't know what they're doing.
Somebody's lacking somewhere.
Somebody's lacking somewhere. And the reason why I watched it is because it's super popular as a movie and as a series of movies. And now we have time. So I said to myself, okay, I will watch it.
Let me run through.
I have to say this, even though, because I watched just the first one, even though that first one is 3 hours long, it didn't feel like it was 3 hours. To me, it didn't feel like it was. It felt much shorter.
Yeah. Wasn't it like one movie is like around 3?
Yeah, one movie is 3 hours. The next movie was like 4 hours. And then the next movie was like
what the
3
fuck?
hours,
What
something
the
like that.
fuck?
Because it's 3-part series, like Pirates of the Caribbean originally was tinted.
Yeah.
So it's from the Tolkien books, the one that they wrote.
Did you side question? Did you watch the Hobbits as well?
No,
Gee.
but
Another couple of hours of that shit
now
too.
I'm going to say this. If I was in that group, which I would clearly be, because I'm not ducking the fate, I would throw that dwarf immediately.
Which dwarf?
The one who was causing all the trouble in the first movie. For example, they threw rocks in the water, and then all of a sudden the water monster tries to grab them.
Why did you do it, bro?
Yeah, I'm like,
Why?
mind your own business.
Like, why are you testing out the goddamn?
Or when they enter that cave, they enter the cave, and then the guy, the same dwarf, they go and he starts to play around, and then he tips a whole armor to the soil, to the ground. There in a big, like, all of a sudden you hear a lot of goblins approaching.
Hey, we are a party, yo! Hey!
And you'll be like, mother, because of you, now I have to fight this.
Hey, no, I don't know if you have seen in YouTube, there's this one channel of, how to survive the movies, horror movies.
Be a cameraman.
No, that's true. But you gotta always think of your group as meat shields. As meat shield. So even if you got that one annoying motherfucker, you gotta use that motherfucker as a meat shield. In needed situation. The more of you, the better.
However, to my point was that when I watched, then I read the description in Wikipedia, and in Wikipedia, it told what was the movie budget. And 2001, if I remember correctly. It was 2001, that movie?
When the first movie came?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was early 2000.
Yeah, early 2000. Don't quote me on 2001, but 2000, early 2000s, 258 million was the budget. And then they put it like next to it, the money now. 500, let me show you actually. 520 something million.
Cost the whole movie.
In today's money.
Okay.
Let me show you. Like, when you do like this and you go to Wikipedia, yeah, it was 2001. J.R.R. Tolkien. And we go.
And it above.
There you go.
Yeah.
Biggest and most ambitious film project ever undertaken, with a budget of $281 million, equivalent to $543 million in 2025.
Somebody had money to throw it back then, I see.
So basically, what you said before for the money thing.
Man.
Then we were discussing the money thing also with my father. Now we go to a little bit subject of the subject, but we're discussing with my father, and we're discussing when we were children, that when you go to the store and if you bought something with 20 euros,
a lot of money.
like the whole week was done. You didn't need to think for a week what you will eat. But now you got $20, 20 euros. Oh,
It's like you poor, you broke. What you doing with $20, right? You need to double it at least.
Today economy is this cooked that You just bought food and makes you think that you're bad with money.
For fact, ironically, we talk with our homeboy. Imagine he has a diplomatic engineer degree.
Yes.
He makes decent money from his like work, basically,
Yes.
like what, around 3K and a half.
Yeah, something
around
like that.
Something like that. This guy said, "Bro, it's tough out here."
And he actually has like a real degree. It's not just
Like
fancy. And he works as an engineer, so
he said, "Bro, it's struggle out here, yo." Because like imagine back in the days with the same amount of money, you could like buy apartment, like mortgage. Like you had like possibility of getting mortgage and paying it off and not stressing too much about life.
yes.
But nowadays, bro, you surviving.
Yes.
You just surviving.
Yes.
Like, people ain't even buying houses that much
No,
nowadays.
no. With what money?
What money exactly?
What about gas prices? Do your soul hurt?
Man, we getting fucked, bro. We getting fucked. Like
Bent over.
Like imagine, like in dollars, we're paying around $2.7 a liter. I don't know about the gallons. I don't know how to measure it in that sense. But in euros, we're paying like 2.1 for the 95. So you can start calculating from that. And the worst part is the diesel users are getting even more fucked. Yeah, that's shit.
So 1 liter is 0.2 gallons.
Imagine like people who have diesel vehicles.
Whoa.
They're getting like absolutely penetrated right now. Because imagine, at least in Finland, like, diesel would be very idealistic vehicle to use because of how the fuel is being consumed and how fuel efficiency and all that. But because in Finland, on top of that, diesel vehicles have extra tax on top of it. It's like what?
Because
400?
because the environment. They justify it because of the environment.
Bullshit. But let's give it at that. Let's leave it at that because government money. We can't be fine with that.
Yes.
So they have to pay extra taxes on top of the base tax that they pay already, because the reason that the fuel is cheaper as well. Well, guess what? Diesel is diesel is the expensivest fuel.
Yeah, the most expensive is right now. Diesel. Think about that.
2.3.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Diesel. Now, understand something. I don't drive. I don't have a car. But for how long I have been here, I don't remember ever diesel was expensive.
Like usually it might be the second, because in Finland at least we have like, of course there might be the quote unquote premiums or whatever extra bullshit, but we have like typically 3 type of fuel or 4.
Yeah, 3.
But usually most of the cases you find in stations are 3 type of fuel.
Yeah.
The 95, it has the what? 95 is like 10% octane.
Yeah.
Octane or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then we got the 98, which is like 5% octane or something like that, which is for like all type of benzene vehicles. And then lastly we have diesel, and typically the range goes like this. The 95 is of course the cheapest with the highest octane rate, and then 98 is like the safest for all vehicles with gasoline, and lastly the diesel. Well, the diesel is diesel.
Yeah.
And the price range usually go like 95, then diesel, and then the 98, or sometimes diesel could be the cheapest one. But usually it was never that the diesel is the most expensive.
Yes.
For the reason of that they already pay the taxes,
Yes.
and etc.
Yes.
But nowadays, it's cheaper to drive benzene vehicle and fuel with the expensive fuel than to drive a diesel vehicle and pay for diesel fuel. Like, it's going horrible right now. Like, absolutely horrible. And all this because of what?
Because somebody made the decision. And they said, no, this is right. And you're like,
We're gonna do it this way.
yeah, and you're like, Well, why you say beef? Well, like you know the 50 cent meme. Why you say beef?
Why are you looking at me, man? What have I done? And the worst, nothing. Like imagine, nothing is cheap right now. Buying a chocolate bar is like luxury right now.
Yeah. Haircut, luxury. You go for fast food, luxury.
Oh, bro. Imagine back in the days, I don't know, some of y'all kids don't even remember, but back in the days, McD's used to have €1 burgers.
Yes. Cheeseburger then.
Cheeseburgers.
Not even just a regular, but the cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, the bangers. The straight bangers.
€1.
€1. Guess how much it costs nowadays?
$2.20. I haven't gone in fast food restaurant for months now.
Rightfully so.
The reason being is just the fact that you go there and it's the same that you go to a fancy restaurant.
So exactly, you take a people to McD's, they can't complain. No, because he's fancy.
It's fancy.
He's expensive.
I want my man to smell expensive. I got you. 95 here, 98 here.
Ooh, the combos cost you like what? $16, $20, something like that.
Oh man.
You're like, what the hell? What are you paying for?
Oh man.
But the economy right now, quality, is prime right now.
It is a crime. Think about it's modern slavery now.
I mean, it always has been.
Yeah.
The system always has been. What?
Who said that?
Who said that? I mean, but that's the ironic. The system is you study, you've been trained to be on time, get out of on time, be on time, do this and that, do the tasks that are required from you, and go to the next level.
Yes.
Do it again. Go next level. Do it again. Go next level.
Yes.
And now you're a good boy. Now you can be put into the world and wish for the best and hope for the best or shit like that.
But that being said, what do you think for the future? The topics, the setting, the anything add up, take away?
Oh, well, most definitely. Number one thing.
Number one.
Not necessarily the scenery. Scenery can always like. This could be the iconic scenery. We never know. Somebody remembers. Oh, you remember the couch?
You know.
You never know.
You know.
But most definitely, the thing that I think will be needed to prioritize is good thing. You got the mics. That's
sure.
most definitely has helped a lot.
For sure.
Well, we need a proper shooting equipment. Let's say like that. We definitely this has managed and has done the deed, but for it consumes memory for my end. Let's begin with that. It takes like what 20-something, 30-something gigabytes in its storage already.
Yeah.
So I need to double with that constantly.
Yeah.
So we definitely on equipment part we might need a little bit something, and then the guest, like you mentioned, female guest, for example.
We haven't had even one.
Yeah, not even a single one. So that will be, and the thing that are already almost in early stages recommended to rebrand the whole thing into our thing, in a sense, because. If you have seen the earlier episode, there has been a couple of evolution happening, like back and forth. So rebranding could be one way to refreshen this, because the algorithm, as we have noticed, it has probably, how would I say, gone into a
mix-up.
No, is it plateau? No, kind of like
plateau. It doesn't
it doesn't evolve in any way. It kind of just stays still. So I think it has had that kind of stage that YouTube doesn't really know where to throw us in, because like I mentioned, I have had friends and ex-colleagues that have they do the YouTube too as well, and their viewership has rocketed pretty much, even though they don't really make anything outrageous in that sense, but they do a couple shoots here and there, and their viewer and subscriber rate is noticeably higher.
Yeah.
Like the one friend I told you, he started literally shooting about a year ago, and he already has like 1 point something K.
Yeah,
And the consistent viewers are all the time over 1K. So there's something that our channel, even though we are putting like quality out, but there's something that is missing out. So that's why I said like we might with the rebranding we might have like a clean slate to start off. Of course.
For sure.
But other than that, I don't really have too much in mind. Of course, with the topics, we might dabble here and there, and we might have little references to previous episodes as always. It's part because there's
back in.
because there's really let's be honest, there's nothing currently new in that sense. Most of the things are pretty much just rerun in a fresher light or in a different light. Pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. For
But what about you? What kind of like visions do you have for the future, or ideas, or what would you like to do?
For me, rebranding is not a bad idea, but of course, we have to still, like you said, a few evolutions have been. Has been in this case, but the fact is that we have put in when it comes to quality and when it comes to actually that I'm not ashamed ever to say that you can put on our podcast and learn and laugh, or you just want to hear our voice and that's it, like, or you to watch us, like.
You like to hear our voice? You put it in the background when you go sleep. I see you.
Like
what you do there.
it can happen. It can happen. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, but when it comes to, like you said, the quality and the storytelling and the whole idea of a podcast, that's not the part that I want to like evolve or push. But the topics, for sure, I believe that we can still choose the topics that are more familiar to us, or we can speak about it more broadly than just one specific pod. Like you said in the beginning, that the topics that we chose for this season were more that we could, they are connected to each other, but we could have done like this big episode of 3-4 hours, and that would be it.
Finish the topic on itself.
Like it could be like that, if we decided to do it. For the majority, it was a good thing that we found few guests, like not just you and me to talk here. Like,
same old shit.
But of course, like you said, that female guests as well, that if they are willing and they want to come here and actually showcase their knowledge and opinions, sure, like more than happy to. Because it's easy. When you put guys, you have seen, we put guys on the displays.
All the time, we agree on some same shit.
It's more, not only that we agree, but it's more like a brotherly thing than anything else.
Hey, what you trying to say? You trying to have beef out here all of a sudden? Cause problems?
No. But...
Well, you trying to tell me you start flirting all of a sudden?
Nah, I wouldn't flirt with any of my guests. What you talking about? I have never flirted with one of my
That's
guests.
like claiming thief won't touch the money that he sees on the table.
What do you mean?
Exactly, that's crazy.
I don't touch my money. I don't touch the money that is on this table.
Oh, you don't count your money?
I count my money, but I don't touch it.
So how you count your money?
Somebody else.
Oh.
You see, the thief doesn't touch the money.
Okay.
You see the politician. Okay.
Lying to himself like that. That's crazy, right?
No, I wouldn't. I have never flirted. No, I have never flirted with the guest.
Let's just leave that to our guests right now, because they have heard probably pretty much a lot of the same old stories from you nowadays.
I haven't flirted with any of my guests. Podcast guest? No. Podcast guest? No. The other thing that you said when it comes to equipment, it would be so great if we would have like a proper setup, like an actual camera and all that, but
lighting as well.
Lighting and the studio, for example, where the echoes of the voice are more to tone down to the talking actually. We had a great opportunity, but then of course
somebody decided to leave it.
Things happen.
Life moves on.
Life goes on.
You know what's ironic? For example, the previous episode, it's already previous episode.
Okay.
The quality was surprisingly like the phone fixes a lot of like lighting quality to a pretty decent degree. You probably haven't seen the original like raw video of it because I put of course the edited one.
Yeah, for sure.
But the lighting, because I remember when I was sitting here, I was like, "Shit, it's dim. It's really dim here. So how bad the camera gonna be later on?" And it turned out pretty decent.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
surprisingly,
yeah.
like the camera or the phone itself kind of like pushed out more light toward the like imagery. Because imagine right now, you
Yeah,
see
right
this?
now.
It's dimming, right?
Yeah.
But later on, when you watch it on the phone, it's not even that bad.
Yeah,
It's like this and pretty.
Yeah, like when it comes to camera, your phone has done terrific job.
Even though it's outdated, the camera lens, surprisingly.
Yeah,
And
outdated, outdated, but it has done a perfect job for us. It has. First of all, the mics have worked with the phone.
No complaints.
No complaints. And then the quality, let's just say, is much better than we had.
Surprisingly, it's. Let's say it could be the when you were shooting at school.
When we were shooting at school, there was only one camera that was doing the better job. But for the God's sake, it was 10,000 euro
exactly.
camera. So if that doesn't work, then throw that bitch away.
Competition be serious, smartphones be doing the hard work right there.
Like we have a podcast actually, and he wasn't still in our podcast.
No.
And the thing, actually, I can tell this story. I have told this story, of course. The thing basically was that I was working there in university, and in that university, because I was working, I could also
Use
the equipment there. And they said, I said to them, yeah, I'm doing the podcast and this and that. And they said, well, do you need any equipment? I'm like, what equipment? You have some equipment?
Whoa,
What you talking
what
about?
you mean?
And I contacted the main guy, and the guy said, yeah, sure, I can showcase you. And he showcased me to this 1,000 euro camera. The problem was that camera didn't work for the software in my PC, in my laptop. And we were doing like this, that we were shooting with the camera, but because we cannot have the SD card in the equipment of not ours, like it was rented in a sense. You couldn't do it like you download the SD in the SD, and then that from there you just put it on YouTube. You cannot do that. So we had to do it from the software in my laptop, but that software we couldn't plug in a way that it could showcase the camera. So I contacted the main guy and I said this and this and that, and he said, well, I can give you this other camera, but it's very expensive.
You fuck it up, you down for it.
Yeah, I was like, well, if we can have it, thank you very much, but if we cannot, I totally understand. He said, yeah, go ahead. I took that camera, man, it was like a gold. Like, you just put the HDMI,
and that's on.
Plop, all that. You can see the quality in those previous. It was his first season, if I remember. Yeah, it was the first season that we were doing. Oh man, the quality. It was golden.
That's that plug and play, bro. Plug and play.
Golden. You wanted to watch that, you wanted to.
You'd rather watch it than listen to it.
You wanted to watch that. Yeah. Have you ever seen the good Nyash?
Hey yo, what you mean by that?
Yes, I was just saying, like, and you just want to watch.
The man of culture.
You don't want to even go and touch or talk or anything. You just want to watch. You want to appreciate what God has given.
Man of culture.
Yeah, but for sure the equipment we can upgrade when the time comes.
The stand at least.
The stand at least, but other than that, the rebranding as well. But I have to say also the social media part.
We're lacking on
we
that.
can do there much more. And the thing is that actually, like in TikTok, we have like actually like people watching it. If you look at the videos that we have, it's not like crazy TikTok numbers, but it's numbers that we appreciate. When it goes to 2,000, 2,500, like we are saying to ourselves that 2,000 people have watched this.
Hey, just saying something can't really complain in itself.
So these are the bullets for the future.
Hold on.
Okay,
What
I
you
can say
mean by
like
that,
this.
bro? What kind of terrorism you on into?
I can say like
Hold on.
bullets for the future. But that in mind, what do you say? Do you have anything else?
Nothing much. Appreciate y'all for watching the season again. Thank you for being part of the journey as well. We know y'all. There's the couple of loyalists out there. We appreciate y'all. Keep your head high.
For sure.
We'll come back stronger later on as well. And at least in my part, I hope to see y'all again soon enough. And keep on watching. And if you haven't watched the previous episodes or the seasons overall, go back. The whole shit is over there. You can see the journey. You can meet the people who have been here and who have gone through and gone their own ways, and the guests that we also have had, because most definitely watch the episodes that we have had guests on, because they have really interesting stories and their own experiences, which add on into the episodes a high amount of quality, in my opinion, and it gives off extra, how would I say, sauce into
extra season.
Exactly, extra seasoning. So go watch those episodes as well, and I don't really have anything extra. Of course, as always, at least in my opinion, we would like to see the comments down below, because that helps us into navigating which way should we go, like what do we need to upgrade on and what should we tuck on, or overall if you wanted to see something else, then with the comment that wish could be fulfilled much more easier than us just guessing.
For sure.
But yeah, overall, other than that, nothing much. As always, homeboy. Putting the work. Yeah. So that's on that. And your last words?
Yeah, I don't have pretty much anything to add up to it. Listen to this man. What he said. Show some love. You know where to do
the regular.
Show some love, you know what to do it, and go check out also the Spotify, all social medias. And for sure, we would much rather do this than go to a job.
For facts.
I'm gonna be honest. If we are getting paid, let's say 2,000 a month, full time.
And ironically, we could even do rebranding in the sales in a way of, for example, we shoot podcast in a beach. Or the whole scenery in the background is much more, lighting. All of a sudden, it's a city, high city. You never know. It might be niggas on a plane. You never know. But it's circumstance. It's circumstance.
I'm just thinking. I just brought my snakes in a plane.
Game is game. You never know.
I'm tired of this mother.
You never know. Circumstances,
it can happen.
It can happen. It just depends on
we are on the beach. All of a sudden, you see something behind us, and you were like, "Hey, who's that?" Oh, wait, you don't know.
I don't know. So you never know. So it just depends on the circumstance, and if the opportunity comes, for example, that this turns out into being a full-time job, for example, of course, then we gotta put on everything we get, because we don't have to worry about this. Now we have to think about this and so on and so on. So, but yeah, so you didn't really have anything else to add up to this?
I don't have anything else. We did a terrific job, in my opinion. Of course, everything always there is room to improve, and we'll do our best to improve. But for now, in my opinion, we have done our deeds.
Exactly. So, as always... we already mentioned about the...
Yeah, show some love.
Show some love. Let's put it again down there. So, make sure y'all know what to do. And if nothing else, put the comments down below, as I mentioned before. And keep the channel subscribed, so you will be up to date once we drop a new season or put something new out there. And if there's any other reference we also want to mention, then you will be notified about that. But if nothing else, thank you all for watching. And as always, peace.
Peace.